Hello, welcome back. This is chapter 5, Indigo, written by Louis Fisher, and today I'm going to explain page number 53 to you. So, here we go. Events justified Gandhi's position. Within a few years, the British planters abandoned their estates, which reverted to the peasants. Now, Gandhiji could properly evaluate the situation, and as he agreed, not demanded, but as he agreed upon 25% of refund to the peasants. By that, he knew that the landlords would submit their pride, and submitting the pride was more important than the money, than the monetary benefit that the peasants were going to get. So, his evaluation, his analysis of the situation proved correct, and within few years, the landlords abandoned. They left their large states, large farmlands, and went away from there. So, as they went away from there, the entire land that the peasants were working, that the peasants were tenant of, the entire land reverted, went back to the peasants. Now they had become the real owner of their land now. And with that, as the British planters moved away from there, so with that, with the leaving on those farmlands, the sharecropping agreement or the sharecropping practice had disappeared altogether, and it was a great relief for the peasants. Gandhi never contented himself with large political or economic solutions, but Gandhiji was not satisfied completely with the political or with the economical gain that the peasants had received. He saw the cultural and social backwardness in Champaran villages and wanted to do something about it immediately. So, not only did he find that they were backward, that they were economically backward, socially backward, culturally backward. Now, since they achieved the economic benefit in the form of becoming the owner of their lands, so the economic part was, solved. They got the benefit from the economic side now. So now it was to tune in their social and cultural aspect, cultural and social backwardness. They were socially backward, they were culturally backward. There was no education. There was no knowledge of how to maintain hygiene and all. So Gandhiji noticed these two things and thought of working on these issues after getting the economic advantage or economic benefit for the peasants. He appealed for teachers, Madhav Desai and Narhari Parikh, two young men who had just joined Gandhi as disciples, and their wives volunteered for the work. So he wanted volunteers for this work because he could not teach all the villagers together at a time. So for that, he needed the help of volunteers, and for this work, Narhari Parikh and Madhav Desai, these two followers of Gandhiji who had just recently joined, who had just become Gandhiji's followers, they volunteered their services. Not only they, but even their wives joined their husbands in this social work, and they volunteered their services. Several more came from Bombay, Pune, and other distant parts of the land. Not only these four people, but many more also joined this work. Many more also joined, also volunteered their work, and this time they came from all over the land, all over the places. People coming from the volunteers coming there from Bombay, from Pune, and from all over the land. Devdas, Gandhi's youngest son, arrived from the ashram, and so did Mrs. Gandhi. Now, Gandhiji's youngest son, Devdas, too joined the work. He too volunteered his services. Not only that, even Gandhiji's wife, Mrs. Kasturba, that is, even Kasturba Bai, joined Gandhiji in the social work. Okay, now primary schools were opened in 6 villages. Kasturbai taught the ashram rules on personal cleanliness and community sanitation. Now they opened 6 schools in 6 villages, in 6 different villages. And besides this, schools were running now. Besides this, they had to be taught about, they had to be made aware of the cleanliness in their life, how to adopt cleanliness in their life, and that work was volunteered by Kasturbai, and she taught ashram rules, the rules that was practiced, that were practiced in ashram. All those rules were taught to the villagers, especially the women there. How to keep themselves clean, how to maintain sanitation and hygiene, how to practice these things, hygiene and sanitation. Health conditions were miserable. Health conditions were very poor in villages. Gandhi got a doctor to volunteer his services for 6 months. Since the health conditions were very poor in the villages, there were no doctor, there was no health center, so Gandhiji got a doctor to volunteer his services for 6 months. 3 medicines were available: castor oil, quinine, and sulfur ointment. And there, with the doctor and their dispensary, only 3 medicines were present, that are castor oil, quinine, and sulfur ointment. These 3 medicines were only available there in the dispensaries. Anybody who showed a coated tongue was given a dose of castor oil. So anyone who had some problem related to tongue, so he was given a dose of castor oil. Anybody with malaria fever received quinine plus castor oil, and one who showed signs of malaria fever was given quinine plus, besides quinine, was also given castor oil. Anybody with skin eruptions received ointment plus castor oil, and people with skin eruptions, skin related problems, diseases, and they received ointment and castor oil with that. So castor oil was common in all the diseases, was given in all the diseases, all kind of situations and all kind of conditions. Gandhi noticed the filthy state of women's clothes. He asked Kasturbai to talk to them about it. Now Gandhiji noticed, he kept a close eyes on the villagers and the way they led their life. Now Gandhiji found that the women in the villages wore filthy saris, or they led their life in a very dirty way. So, or say what is said here, the filthy state of women's clothes. Their clothes used to be very filthy, very dirty. He asks Kasturbai to talk to them about it, and then he asks Kasturbai, his wife, to talk to these women about their dirty clothes. One woman took Kasturba into her hut and said, "Look, there is no box or cupboard here for clothes." Now, one of the women, when she tried to talk to women of the village or women of the villages, or one of the women asked Kasturbai to come along with her, and she took her to her house, and there she showed all the things. She said, "See, there is no cupboard in the house. Look, there is no box, no cupboard here for clothes. No cupboard there, no box there for clothes. The sari I am wearing is the only one I have." And then she informed that the sari that she was wearing, that she wore, was the only one she had. There was no second sari, and that's why it it always remained dirty. During his long stay in Champaran, Gandhi kept a long distance watch on the ashram. And during his long stay, since he stayed there for almost a year, so he kept a close eye, keen eye on ashram activities. He had to give instructions to the people living in ashram. The ashram inmates were given instruction from there only. He sent regular instructions by mail and asked for financial accounts. He gave regular instructions to the inmates of the ashram, and he also asked for financial accounts. He asked for the accounts of the finances, that is the money that was coming and how that was spent. All the accounts are related to money as well. Once he wrote to the residents that it was time to fill in the old latrine trenches and dig new ones, otherwise the old ones would begin to smell bad. And once he passed some instruction from Champaran only and said to fill the old latrine pit and dig new one, because if that is not done soon, then in that case, in that scenario, in that situation, the old one would smell bad. That would give foul smell, that would sting. So this is all for now. Thank you.